All right, guys. So what we want to do today is we want to connect Windows 7 and 10 to Windows Server 2016 on HyperV, basically the whole process of virtualization. So to get started, you want to verify that you go to your settings, that you are connected, your network adapter, that's your NIC card, is connected to a new virtual switch, right? New virtual switch. So if you don't have that, you got to have that. The way to do that is on your right side, click on Virtual Switch Manager, and then you click on New Virtual Switch, select External, and then you click on Create Virtual Switch. You click Apply, you click OK. All right? That is what you need to do over there. All right, so once you have that confirmed, I'm just going to log in real quick here. I want to verify a few settings like my IP address and such. So hit cancel here. Minimize this window. So CMD with my command prompt. Then run my IP config. All right, so I believe that your IP address has to be similar to what you have here. Maybe not exactly this number, but close. Most likely the 10.0.0.0, which is a private IP. All right, so just verify that. Now, once you have that, then you have to configure it as a static IP. So you go to your control panel, go to View Network Status and Tasks, change adapter settings, you right-click, and then you go to your IPv4. So again, make sure that the info you have here matches. So you got to change it from obtain an IP address automatically to use the following IP. So here's my IP address. Make sure you put it in here, static IP. Whatever yours is, it's not going to be the same as mine, but yours might be different. So whatever it is, same thing with the subnet mask. Put it in here, and then the default gateway is going to go in default gateway here. And then the preferred DNS server is going to be exactly what you have here, 127.0.0.1. So make sure that your preferred DNS server is exactly what you see on my screen. But your IP address, your subnet mask, and your gateway is what you see when you run your IP config. All right, so if all that is good, minimize, and now let's install Windows 7 and Windows 10. So Windows 7. You can name it. I've installed it before. I deleted it. That's why I'm giving it a different name. So it doesn't matter what you name it. Just make sure the name is different from something you used before. In fact, I'm going to add another one just to make sure that it's different from what you had before. All right. If you're installing for the very first time on your computer, you can just call it Windows 7. But I'm just going to call it this so that I'm sure it's very different. All right, click next, click next. Now you can say 8000 here. Now make sure you connect to the new virtual switch because the Windows 7 and the Windows 10 and the Windows Server have to be connected to the same switch. So use that. Next, now select your ISO file, downloads. It's my Windows 7. Click next and finish. All right, so your Windows 7 is installed. I'm going to do the same thing for my Windows 10. Windows 10-11. Next, 8000. Again, select your new virtual switch. Next, select your ISO file. My Windows 10 ISO file. Next, finish. All right, so I have my Windows 7 and my Windows 10. I'm gonna my Windows server is fine, so I'm just gonna go ahead and connect to Windows 7. Okay, looks like I have a RAM issue here, right? Give me 1 second. I'll be right back with the RAM issue just to fix that. All right, so what I did was I had a my RAM was 8,000. I just changed it to 2,000. So let me see if that's going to work. Yeah, it didn't like the 8,000. Same thing with the Windows 10. You might not have a problem with that if you set yes to 8,000, but I think I'm running out of RAM on my computer. So basically, I changed the memory to 2,000. So let me see if that helps. So let's start the Windows 7 again. Do I want to revert? Let me just continue and see if that helps. All right, so just a little glitch there. So looks like I had a memory issue. Seems to be okay now. So I'm going to run the Windows 7 and complete the install. So again, make sure that you have enough memory, and once your memory is fine, then you can just continue with installation. So this should be a very straightforward process. Okay, accept, click next, custom, next. And while it's doing that, I'm going to go ahead and run the Windows 10. So I have the Windows 10. I have the Windows 10. I have my Windows 7 is still installing, and my server is right here. So, all right, let me go back to Windows 10. So that's Windows 10 ready to be installed. Install now. All right, you want to select the Windows 10 Pro. Windows 10 Pro is fine. Click next. Accept. Next. Custom. Next. All right, so while that is working, let me go back to Windows 7. All right, still working. I'm just going to pause the video for a second so that we can complete the installation for Windows 7 and Windows 10. All right, so we're just completing installation of Windows 7. You can see Windows 7 on the right side, and 1 second. There was a bit of a noise there. So we're just completing Windows 7 and Windows 10 on the left side. So that should take us another couple moments. I'm going to pause it again and come back once the installation is complete. So once the installation is complete, you just have to put in your password and complete the setup, give the computer a name. Right, the computer will restart a few times. Okay, so I will be pausing it right now. All right, so Windows 7 is, I'm just going to name it now. I'm going to call it, say, let's say, I'm just going to call it Lab PC. Lab PC, right? Can't think of any of their names, so Lab PC is fine. Then you click Next. You got to put a password, so put a password you will remember. Okay, recommended settings. Remember to change the time zone to Eastern. We are on Eastern time zone, and right now I am on. Make sure everything is accurate with the current time. Wherever you are. Next, I'm just going to click Work Network, and that should be completed. And Windows 10 is ready to be set up too. Looks like. Okay, so Windows. All right, so Windows 7 is getting ready, and Windows 10 is also getting ready. But just a moment, and we can move on. Again, just to go back to Windows Server. So Windows Server, the IP is set up. So I'm just going to close this. I'm going to close this, close this, close this. And the first thing we're going to do is, once we're done with Windows 7 and 10, we're going to ping. Actually, let's see the IP addresses first, because the IP addresses should sort of match. So again, back to the IP for the server. IP config. That is not, I think I'm on the wrong machine here. CMD. Okay. Config. Right, so that's the IP. So let me go look at Windows 7 and so this is Windows 10. So let me just do the setup. Yes. Escape. Windows 10 has some important setup to do. I'm going to come back. I'm going to go to Windows 7. So Windows 7, I want to verify. Well, first of all, let me see what the IP address is. IP config. All right, so let's see. Okay, so this is important. So everything you see here is all IPv6, all right? So we have to go to Control Panel and turn off IPv6. So go to Control Panel. You have to turn off IPv6. So go to your View Network Status and Task, go to your Adapter Settings. And then we're going to go, well, it's still trying to identify. So we go to Properties. Now we have to uncheck IPv6. Make sure it's unchecked. all right? And then click OK and close this box. Now let's go back to the command prompt. Let's see what IP address we get. Okay, Ethernet adapter local area network is giving us, there's no IP here, right? So it's still trying to pick up a signal. This IP is not a valid IP. This is a people IP. So let's close that, go back to control panel. It has to generate a regular IP. So I'm going to go here, I'm going to disable, and then I'm going to enable. So let's see if that helps. Okay, so you want to select work network. Okay, click close. Now you can see that sort of we have internet access, so that's fine. So go back to your command prompt, and now let's see if we get an IP address. IP config. Yeah, so that's a good IP, right? 10.0.0.248. Now, because they're all connected to the same switch, the IPs are going to be very similar. So Windows 7 is 2.4.248, and the server is 245, right? So 245.248, and I'm sure that Windows 10, when we set it up, so let's skip this, should be very close also. It's important to turn off IPv6, all right? So a few things to do. Well, while Windows 10, well, let me just say personal use. I don't know if it makes a difference. Click next. Okay. All right, so I'm going to use my regular Outlook account. I know you might have to create an account, just, you don't have to use it to just create it for this purpose, but I'm just going to use my regular Outlook account. So it's sent, well, no, I don't, I'm just going to say, give me other ways. I'm just going to use my password. Next, my regular password. Okay, and now it should be, wants me to create a pin. So just follow the process, whatever you do. A complete installation from Windows 10. It's a little bit obviously different from Windows 7. I'll say no thanks. Okay, I'm going to say no, I don't want Cortana. Accept all these. That should probably be the last thing. Okay, it's going to be set up. It's going to be complete high and some initial setup steps. Okay, so I'm going to go back to Windows 7. And now, so now I'm going to test if Windows 7 can ping the Windows server. So ping 10.0.0.245, I think it is. Windows server is 245. All right, so let's ping it from Windows 7. So hit ping, and the ping should be successful, right? Because they're connected to the same switch, and in fact, the IP addresses are pretty close, right? So the server is 10.0.0.245, and Windows 7 is 10.0.0.248. So the ping is successful, which means that you are on track to be able to, like what we said earlier, we want to connect Windows 7 and 10 to Windows Server, and also we want to join Windows. Well, just put let's just say here, join to the domain. I want to join both computers to the domain. All right, so let's see if Windows 10 is ready. Windows 10 is still working. Let's go to Windows 7 and see if we can join Windows 7 to the domain first. All right, so we can close this for a second. Now, something you have to do is you have to go to Properties, go to Windows 7, Windows IPv4. Remember, you have unchecked IPv6, so go to Properties for IPv4. And now you have to set the DNS here, right? Actually, two things. So you got to use a static IP. The static IP is going to be the same. The address is going to be the same address of the same IP address. CMD. So we already know that it is 248 IP config. So we're going to put we're going to put that info here. And make sure that it matches. So 10, yeah, 10.0.0.248. The subnet mask is 255.255.255, so you want to put that in there. 255.255.0. Okay. The default gateway is the same default gateway for server, so 0.0.1, and then here your DNS server is going to point to the IP address of the server, right? The IP address of the server. I believe that's what it is. 10.0.0.245. Yeah. Your DNS server is going to point to the IP address of the server, right, which is 245. All right, so click OK there. We close. And now let's go and join this guy to domain, right? So we go back here, go to Control Panel, just type name, rename this computer, go to Change, now click Domain. Now remember the domain name. Let's go back to the server. The domain name is local server. Is hq.justastart.org, right? So it depends. You might have to just type just the HQ, and that might work, or you might have to type the full domain name when you're joined to domain. All right, so let's go back to Windows 7 here. All right, so I'm going to try the hq.justastart, the whole thing, .org. Make sure I spell correctly. Yours might be a different domain name, all right? So click OK, all right? So now I have to put the administrator information that's on the server, right? And then the password. So on the server, you're likely the administrator, so you just want to type administrator and type your password when you are setting up the server. So if everything is correct, it's going to tell you welcome to the domain, right? That's how you join the domain. Click OK. Click OK. It's going to ask you to close and restart now. All right. So I'm going to go to Windows 10 and complete the process with Windows 10. All right. So let's see what Windows 10 is doing here. All right. So about to put my password. Okay, so Windows 10 is ready to be set up. So same thing, I'm going to verify the IP address, CMD, IP config. The IP should be very close to. All right, again, we have to turn off Windows. We have to turn off IPv4. That's why you're seeing all this IPv6. Well, actually, we got a IPv4 IP address here. So, but still, I think let's turn off the IPv4. All right. So go to your control. Let's turn off the IPv6. So let's go to your control panel here. Go to View Network Status and Tasks. Go to Change Adapter Settings. Right-click on your properties here, and then turn off IPv6. So for IPv4, go to the properties and do the same thing. So you put in the static IP 10.0.0.249. Then the subnet mask 255.255.255. The default gateway is the same default gateway of the server. No, it's 0.0.1. You can see that here, that's the default gateway, so that's fine. Once this is good, remember that the DNS is the IP address of the server. So you got to put that in there, 0.248, just to be sure, 248. No, 245. 245. So it has to point to 245. Okay. All right. So you click OK. You click Close. Close this. You can close this too. Now let's go join to domain. So Control Panel. Type name. Name this computer. Change. Now we join to domain. So same thing. HQ. Just a start.org. Click OK. So put in the administrator info, and then your password. OK. And that should be fine. Once you see that, you know you're in business. OK. Click OK. Click Close. It's going to ask you to restart. Click on Restart. While it's restarting, let me go to Windows 7 and see what's going on with Windows 7. So Windows 7 is back. All right, so Control-Alt-End. Control-Alt-End. All right? So I'm going to switch user, and I'm going to use one of the users that I have already created on the server. So let's see the users I have on the server. Go to Tools, Active Directory Users and Computers. For the users, so I have a few users here. I have Lisa Grant. So let me see Lisa's information, profile. What is Lisa's profile? I think it's L Grant. Should be L Grant. Address, account. Yep, L Grant. So we're just going to use L Grant to log in. So I created that already. So go to Windows 7, L Grant. I think the password is the same password I had. All right. So Lisa Grant is logging in. So just like the way domains work, once the computers are on the domain, any valid user can log in on any computer. So you can see that Lisa Grant is now logged in. And this computer name, 1 second, computer name, properties, So this computer is lab PC, lab PC. If I go to the domain and I want to see the computers, you can see that I have lab PC there. So once you join a computer to the domain, it is on the domain, right? Same thing with the Windows 10. Let's see Windows 10, log in. All right. So let's verify the info for. Actually, I've logged in here as a different user, so I think I can do that. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. So let me log out of here and log in as a different user. Right now, I'm logging as myself, so I'm going to sign out and see if it gives me the option to log in as a different user. Yeah, other user. Let me see if I can do this. Yep, so I'm going to go in as other user. And I can log in as Lisa Grant too, or just go in with another user that I have here, and I have another user called Jerry George. That's J George. So I'm going to go log in as J George on my Windows 10, not this one. All right, so J George, EORGE, and all right. So if the user is the first time user, it will ask you to change the password, but I think I've already logged in with these guys before. So this computer, so J George is logging in here, and on Windows 7, you can see that if we go to the File Explorer, and go to local users, on the users, you can see that L Grant has logged in. That's Lisa Grant. So we can log in here with as many users as we want. Every user is separate from the other users. So we're, I think we're good so far. Let's go back to the Windows 10. All right, so let's see who's logged in here. So you can see here that this is Jerry George. Jerry George is logged into this computer. And if we want to see the computer name, well, I mean, just even looking at the command prompt, you're going to see computer name, right? You can do CMD, and you can do ipconfig/all. That's the computer name there. Desktop L7UKI03. So if you go to the server, you're going to see that computer is also joined to the domain right here. This one. All right. So I believe that this you should be all set with connecting Windows 7 and 10. Well, final thing I'm going to do, just to be sure we've done that part, this Windows 10, is to ping. I'm going to ping the Windows 7. So 10.0.0.248. Yep. Is that 248? I can run that again. 10.0.0.248. Windows 7 should be 248. ipconfig. Yeah, 248. So let me see what's going on there. Going again. I mean, they're all in the domain, so I'm actually not sure why they're not ping. Why the ping is not working, because they're all in the domain. Right? We've joined them to the domain, and that's the important thing. And they should. Okay, you know what? I'm going to ping. Let me ping the server, which is 245. Yeah, so that's picking up. So I'm not. sometimes I'm not so clear why it's pinging the server, but it's not pinging Windows 7. So let me do the reverse. I'm going to ping this IP, not this IP. I'm going to ping, yeah, the IP is .249, so I'm going to ping it from the Windows 7. So let's see if the reverse works. Right, ping 10.0.0.249. If we ping 245, that's the server. That is fine. And then let's ping 249, the Windows 10. So for some reason, Windows 10 and Windows 7 are not pinging themselves, but they can ping the server. But we know that they're all on the domain, right? And that's why different users can log in. So, and just to verify that, when you're going to verify that you're on the domain, once you go to command prompt, control panel, you type name, you say rename this computer. Well, obviously, you can't do that, so you have to go in with the administrator account when you're on Windows 7 or Windows 10. That's because they are now managed computers, right? So go in with your admin password. So you can see here when you click, you can see that it's now part of the domain. When you click change, it's part of the domain. So Windows 10 is clearly on the domain. It's good. You can ping it, but Windows 10 and 7 are somehow not pinging themselves. I'm not going to be too concerned about that right now. And then finally, Windows 10. So Windows 10 is also on the domain. And just to verify that, you go to your control panel, you type name, rename this computer. Again, because it's a managed computer, you have to go in as administrator. Administrator. Admin. Yeah, make sure you type that correct, put in your password. All right, so you can see you're part of the domain. When you click change, it's on the domain, so that's fine. So last thing we're going to do is we're going to remote. All right, so let's remote from the server into one of the Windows 10 or Windows 7. All right, just to do that last part. We're going to add that here, remote connection, remote desktop connection. That's one of the benefits of a domain system. All right, so going to the server, I'm going to go to remote desktop here. And all you have to do is put in the IP address of the computer you want to remote into. So let's say we want to go into the Windows 7. We know that the IP address for Windows 7 is 248. So we're going to put that in there. I'm just going to hit connect. Let's give it a second. It should work because it's on the domain. Okay, it's complaining of something. I'm not sure what it's complaining about. I'm not sure. Let's try the Windows 10, which is 249. IP config. So the Windows 10 is .249, and we might probably also go in with the desktop, with the name, with the computer name, which is desktop L7UK103. So we can try both. Well, let's try this first with the IP. Connect. If it doesn't work, we just put in the desktop, the computer name. Okay, it's complaining. Desktop remote can't. Okay, Well, we forgot to do something, right? This is probably what's going on. So let's go into Windows. Let's go here, and we have to enable the remote desktop, remote allow. Yeah, that's one thing we forgot definitely. Allow remote access to your computer. So click that. Again, you have to go in the administrator. All right, so you see here where it has don't allow, you got to click on allow. So that, I think that's what the issue is, not the IP address. So click apply. All right, so let's try this Windows 10 again, the IP address 249 on the server. So click connect. Now you see that it's fine, right? So put in your password. So click OK. All right, so you can see it's good. So click yes. And now we're trying to go into the Windows 10, and it's saying another user is signed in. If you continue, they'll be disconnected. So if you go to the Windows 10, you see here, this is the Windows 10. Yep. So let's go back to the server, and I'm just going to say yes. Okay, so now it's waiting for J. George that's logged into the server into Windows 10. So look at this is J. George, and it says, do you want to allow? I'll just say okay. So now J. George's computer has been taken over by the server. So we go here and we see that now the server is logging into the Windows 10. All right, so that's successful. So we forgot to allow remote desktop connection. Same thing with the Windows 7. Got to go to Windows 7 and say remote to allow remote access to your computer. So put in the admin information. Then you click allow. Allow connections from computers running any version of remote desktop. That's fine. Click apply. OK. And now from the server, you should be able to go in there. So it's still logging into the Windows 10. But then you can actually do a double connection. So watch this. So let's do remote here. Let's see if that works. Right, so you can see that right now it's connected to Windows 10, and now we're going to do a double connection to the Windows 7. So click connect. All right, it's looking good. Click OK. Yep. Click yes. So saying that another user is logged into Windows 7, which is correct. Click yes. And that is L Grant. So when we go into L Grant on Windows 7, right here, you can see that it's asking to log in. So we're just going to click OK. All right. So when you go back to the server, see that now. So this is a big advantage for tech people. You can see that right now on the server, I am logged. You can actually do this from any computer. But right now, I'm logged into Windows 7, right, and I'm logged into Windows 10. So I'm going to go into the file explorer and just going to drop a. So right here, this J. George, I'm just going to drop a file for J. George in his documents. Just going to say new, and say salary increase for J. George. Right. So, and I'm going to log out. So when J. George goes into his computer on Windows 7, he's going to see that information on Windows 10. So let's go back to Windows 10. And this is J. George. Put in the password. So on his documents, J. George should see documents right there. You can see that he's going to get a salary increase. All right. So that concludes this demonstration. And and we were able to connect Windows 7 and 10 to the Windows Server 2016 on Hyper-V. Well, let's put this here. So you have to, actually, I should just leave that here. Enable, I'm going to put a, here, you got to remember to enable virtual switch, what's that called? Virtual switch manager, right? Like we did here, virtual switch, not here, virtual switch manager, and you've got to use a new virtual switch, right? You create a virtual switch. So that's important for all this to work. Create a virtual switch. And once you do that, you should be all set. Okay? That's all we got. Talk to you guys later.